You ever come home after a long day of work, super hungry, but you don't feel like cooking? You definitely don't feel like chopping and not even thinking about cleaning up any dishes. So you're like, all right, I'm just gonna go into the pantry, look for something to eat, like, ooh, that snack that my husband doesn't know I hid that's really supposed to be for my daughter. Yeah, I do that too. But here's the thing. After years of teaching people how to cook plant-based, I've seen 3 mistakes keep people stuck. So in today's video, I want to share with you exactly how to get past that so you're not stuck, so you can get out of the kitchen and you're not in it for hours. My first mistake is so common, it's super easy to overlook. Most people will jump straight into meal planning, but without this step, any plan is doomed to fail. Let me explain. When I was a medical resident, I would get off from work at 7 p.m. and it would take me 30 minutes to drive back home. And it was at that point that I would think to myself, ooh, what are we gonna have for dinner? You see the problem, right? Decision fatigue. We've already spent all day making so many decisions. By the time we get home, we don't have enough energy to even think about what am I going to prepare, what's already in the fridge, what's already in the freezer. So when you're driving and you see that pretty sign that says McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, depending on your style, it seems like the smarter idea. It's the easier answer because there's no energy. And then we tell ourselves, well, I'll do better next time. So instead, think of future you. Future you will be tired at the end of the day, so plan for her. That's what I have to say to myself. What would she like to eat? How much energy will she have? For me, future me always wants something that's simple and warming. I'll show you my go-to meals in a little bit. Mistake number 2. Now this one, it was the hardest for me to get over. Once I got home, I'd be completely overwhelmed thinking to myself, all right, well, where do I start? Should I chop the veggies? Should I turn on the oven? Where are my pots? Did I clean the pot? Where are the spices? Do we have the ingredients? I'd be so overwhelmed. Instead of even going to the kitchen and cooking, I just go to the couch and start doom scrolling. Instead of making it this big to do and thinking about all the steps that we have to make it simple. Turn on the oven to let it preheat. Grab your knife, put it on the cutting board, take out your ingredients, lay them on the counter. These small, simple steps create momentum. Then once things start rolling, it's easier to keep it going. And then you look up and you finish cooking. Mistake number 3. Okay, this one might be controversial, especially coming from me as a chef because I have so many people ask this from me all the time. Let's say I give you these instructions. Step 1, take 5 steps towards my door. Step 2, turn the doorknob. Step 3, enter the doorway. Step 4, close the door. Step 5, take approximately 10 steps to your left. Are we on step 6? Are you confused? I'm confused and I wrote this down. Now, if I had just said, hey, can you go down the street, pass 2 houses on your right, stop at the house with the yellow mailbox. That's my neighbor's house. You probably would have been able to do that confidently. That is what reading a recipe is like. That's the difference between recipes and general cooking intuition. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against recipes, okay? I love recipes. That's how I learned to cook. However, sometimes the recipes can make you feel like you have to do everything exactly the way it says. And if not, the food's not gonna come out right. And then it paralyzes you. So you end up not doing it. I'm speaking from experience. That was me. I had to learn early on. A friend actually had to teach me that cooking is more about your gut. It's more about intuition. Instead of thinking of recipes as I have to follow every step, think of it more like a gentle suggestion. Speaking of which, if you check in the description, I have 7 free plant-based recipes, 7 free gentle suggestions if you're interested in it. Now, let me show you how future me prepares one of my go-to meals when I don't feel like cooking, don't have a lot of time, but I still want something that tastes really good. Like the stew.
If they're watching you, I'm sure they trust your word.
And if you're interested in seeing how do I go grocery shopping before I actually make this type of meal, check out this video next.